Hey everybody, I'm Greg Slone. Thanks for checking out my YouTube channel, Drum Power. And with a name like that, you're probably thinking, why has he got an instrument like this? Well, for those of you that follow my channel and know me, you obviously know I'm a professional drummer. Um, but I'm also a singer, songwriter, producer. I play multiple instruments. Um, And if you recall, we did a video a while back about the 10 commandments of drumming, and one of those commandments was that you should play multiple instruments. And that's really what I've done my whole career, and it's helped me be a better drummer and a better producer, a better songwriter, all those things. So anyway, in the course of doing that and trying to, add instruments to my recording studio, I discovered this company called Firefly. And some of my really good musician friends, other producers, and guitar players, when I told them, all the different styles of guitar that I would like to add, but, I didn't want to spend a fortune, they were like, you should check out this company, Firefly. I heard it from several different sources, so I started looking into them, and they make really good quality and really affordable instruments. A lot of people get a Firefly guitar and they'll mod it out and put new pickups in it. And it really depends on what your uses are, what your needs are, as to what you may or may not do to an instrument like that. For me, I'm just using this stuff in my recording studio, so other than changing strings, I don't plan on modding any of these instruments for my purposes. But there's going to be another video. I originally intended to do a longer video just talking about playing multiple instruments and how it's important for you as a drummer and just a musician in general. And I was going to feature all the Fireflies that I have and kind of do demo and review on all of them. And also, I got my hands on a Positive Grid Spark amplifier, which I really, really love as well, which is also going to be in that video, talking about affordable, good equipment that you can use to learn instruments or even record with and, get started. But I was asked specifically to do a review and demo of this Firefly. And this, of course, is a Resonator, which I just got my hands on a few days ago. And as you can see, it's a beautiful instrument, really made well, and it feels good and it sounds good. I believe it is a spruce top with mahogany sides and back, rosewood fretboard, and yeah, this thing plays great. I've never owned a Resonator until now. I've played many of them, especially doing studio work in Nashville over the years. There's, lots of different styles of these, Resonator, dobro type instruments. Many of them down there, even I've seen guys, they're meant to be played on your lap. They have much higher action, and they play them this way with slide, and they're an amazing instrument, which I've only fooled with a couple of those, but a lot of these you can play them just like regular guitar. Also, they're meant to be played with slide as well. They're really versatile for that kind of stuff because they sound great in so many different tunings. I'm going to demonstrate some of those today. Right now we're in standard tuning. I'll play a couple of song ideas in standard so you can hear it, and then I'll break away. We'll come back. We'll do some stuff in a DADGAD tuning. You can tune these to open E, open G, open D. It's great for the slide work when you do that stuff. Because of that, you'll even see, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but the action on these instruments is a little higher than normal. All acoustics, of course, are going to have a higher action than electric, but these are just a little bit higher even than a normal acoustic. And it's because it actually makes it easier to play slide. It is a little harder to play regular chords, but as I'll demonstrate for you, it's really not difficult, you know, marginally more difficult, but it does make the slide playing a lot easier. So, you know, I'll do a little slide playing for you too, although, you know, I'm far from an expert at that. But yeah, anyway, check these out, these Fireflies. They are on Guitar Garden's website, and I believe I got this one, it was about $190, and then shipping's like another 27 bucks, something like that. But these are a lot of fun. I'm obviously going to change these strings before I, you know, record with this in my studio, but everything on this is stock, even the strings, and I'll just play for you a little bit, demo it, but my overall review, it holds its tune well, it feels good, it sounds good, it's really affordable, and so far, I've had it just a few days, I've been really, really happy with this. So you heard this kind of strummy thing. Let's do something a little bit different. We'll see how it sounds. This is standard tuning again. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm coming up with all kinds of ideas on this thing. Even weirder, you can even kind of do these weird kind of opening. You know, and again, like I said, with the action being a little high on these, you know, a little harder to play your bars if you wanted to, but it can certainly be done. You know, so yeah, that's standard tuning on it. I've never really, you know, I don't play with slide guitar all that much, so I've never really fooled with it in standard too much. Usually when I've done it, it's been in an open tuning. It just makes it easier for those of you that are just getting started on slide. But yeah, let's break away and I'll change the tuning on this. We're gonna do some more samples for you. All right, so we're back with you. We're in a DADGAD tuning, which if you don't know what that is, your 6th string is D, 5th string stays at A, 4th string stays at D, your 3rd string stays at G, your B goes to A, and your E goes to D. So Dad, Gad. And you can do all kinds of cool stuff with this. I love to play open stuff. I'm even going to show you like some creepy sounding slide things. I've got a few different slides here behind me, just so you can hear the difference, you know, that just a slide makes in the tone of these things. But I think I failed to mention so far in this video, none of this is mic'd. I'm not running anything through my studio equipment. My voice is not mic'd. This guitar is not mic'd. I'm just filming this on an iPad, and it's using the iPad microphone and video. I do that for all my videos, and why do I do that? Because I don't want to color anything. I want you to hear it as it is, and so when you get yours, it's going to sound as good, if not better than this, when you're actually in the room with it. So this is raw. This is exactly what this instrument sounds like. So let's play around a little bit. Let's first do the open kind of thing. Play some ideas here. So that's just, you know, fooling around with that. I love this DADGAD tuning. If you've never tried it, even a regular acoustic or even electric guitar, put it in that tuning and have some fun with it. So I'm going to grab some of these slides here, just so you can hear the difference. This is just a typical glass slide. And I'm going to be doing multiple strings here because I'm not a slide expert. The guys that are really good at this will mute certain strings and, you know, kind of... They'll do one string at a time, like, beautifully. But I just want you to really hear the difference even in the slides themselves. So here's a glass slide. This is in the DADGAD tuning, just playing around with a... Right, so you get that kind of tone out of glass. Get multiple slides if you're going to play a slide. Now this is a brass one. And actually I'll put this one here. Try that same little riff. Alright. Pretty noticeable difference in the room here. Hopefully it's coming across on the video. And this one I picked up, this is really cool. This is a Joe Perry ceramic slide. It's supposed to be like bone, but it's actually ceramic as far as I know. But this one, some cool stuff with these. So and again, when you really practice slide, you can kind of be finger picking and thumb picking certain notes and sliding. You know, you can pick out the notes that you want to slide on, in other words. So these resonators, absolutely killer for that kind of stuff. They sound amazing. So anyway, that was just playing around with DADGAD tuning. Let's break away for a second and we'll do an open tuning. All right, so we're back here in an open D tuning. with this Firefly Resonator. And, you know, one of the main reasons that people use these open tunings is for using a slide. And the reason for that is because when you have these open tunings, you can easily get these, you know, full chords with just a bar. And so people who play a lot of slide, you have a lot of advantages to that. You can play a chord if you have a slide on your pinky, or if you have a small slide that doesn't cover the whole finger, just the tip or whatever. You can play these chords, or you can play other patterns that you want to play, and then get a little slide action in between your chord or your, you know, your little finger patterns. So it's a really cool option for that. And I'm sure you can jump all over YouTube and find some people that just tear that stuff up. I don't play a lot of slide myself, but now that I have this Firefly Resonator, I will obviously be spending more time on it, trying to get more familiar with it, and so I can use it in my own recordings or my own sessions. If I'm producing other people, I can help them with ideas and things. So, but yeah, let's give you a quick demo of that, and you know, just see if we can make something off the cuff here in this open D. Kind of a slide vibe. So yeah, that's just me, you know, playing around off the cuff, trying to come up with an idea. And you'll find that happening a lot when you have an instrument like this, a resonator, something that you don't necessarily, I mean, some of you out there probably have one of these, if not several of these, but it's my first one, and so I find myself every time I pick it up coming up with a new original idea that I could use in a song, or to even, you know, an idea that might spark a new song. So these are super cool. Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's made well. It's holding tune. I've been playing it for several days now, still with the stock strings, which I know, you know, are not the highest end strings in the world, so I'll be changing those out. And I know the guitar is going to sound even better when I do that, so that's why I wanted to do the video in this way. I didn't want to have brand new strings on it. I didn't want to have a microphone here picking it up. I don't have a microphone on my voice. This is just the Firefly Resonator, my hands, and an iPad that's recording all of this, so you can't get any more real than that. No coloring of any sort. So if you're looking to get one of these, I definitely recommend it. I'm having no issues with it. I know some people on some of the Facebook pages and stuff have had some shipping issues with some of their acoustics, where some of them have shown up, you know, damaged. And but this one came flawless. I mean, I've looked it over with a fine-tooth comb, and it's in great shape, and you know, looks great, sounds great, plays great. So keep that in mind. before I do this other video that, you know, I'm going to show these other, I have the electric guitars and a bass and all kinds of cool stuff. But the reason this is on my drum channel is to tell you drummers, you need to play multiple instruments. It really helps you as a drummer. You know, stop thinking of yourself as a drummer. You're a musician. All you guitar players out there, any of you guitar players that found me just because of Firefly, if you have never played drums, do it. Do yourself a favor and do it. I know many of the greatest guitar players that ever lived started as drummers. Many of them did. I know years ago, I think my son was about 9 or 10 years old, and I was working in the studio with this producer, a guy named Erwin Musper. Amazing. He's really known more as an engineer than a producer, but he's worked with, you know, Scorpions and Van Halen and Def Leppard and all kinds of you know, great artists. But I'm in the studio with him, and he was like, hey, I've got extra tickets and I can get you backstage or whatever to see King's X and Extreme. And he had a relationship with the singer from Extreme because he had worked in the studio when that singer, actually for one album, was the singer for Van Halen. I don't know if a lot of people know that out there, but he did one album with Van Halen as their lead singer. So he was friends with Erwin. And anyway, long story short, Erwin got us tickets to go to this show. And backstage, we met with the band after the show, and my son was telling Nuno Betancourt, he's the name of the guitar player for Extreme, incredibly talented guitar player. And he's talking to Nuno. He's like, you're the best guitar player I've ever seen. And he's 9 or 10, you know, which is, Nuno thought was hilarious. You know, he's like, oh, well, how many have you seen? You're 9 years old. But he said, if you're serious about being a great guitar player, do what I did, do what Eddie Van Halen did, do what he did. He named like 5 or 6 guys off the top of his head. He's like, your dad's a great drummer. Work with your dad and learn the drums first. And why is that important for guitar players? Because rhythm, feel, timing. If you've got that on any instrument, you've got a chance to really, you have a great foundation. You've got a chance to build and be a better player. So for everyone out there watching this, I definitely highly recommend the Firefly Resonator guitar. And I highly suggest that if you don't play multiple instruments, not that you have to be a master of all these instruments, but pick them up and have some fun with them, because you're going to be a better overall musician, if you will. If you're a drummer out there and you've never picked up a guitar or a bass or sat down to a keyboard, trust me when I tell you it's going to help your drumming if you will sit down with these other instruments and just play around with them. And that's why I think these Fireflies are so cool, because if you don't own guitars or you've never played guitars, you don't have to spend a ton of money to get a quality instrument to start with. They're really well made. They're really cool, and they play great. I have a lot of fun with them. The number one thing is, when you sit down with an instrument, do you have fun with it, and are you going to spend time with it? And that's what happens to me every time I pick up one of these Firefly guitars in my studio. And plus, using that Spark amp from Positive Grid it's unbelievably fun and really a creative amplifier that you can get a lot out of. So I'll be talking about all that stuff in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it, and please leave comments. I mean, if you have had good experiences with Firefly, if you've had bad experiences with Firefly, if you know of other companies that you really liked that made really cool resonators and stuff. But this one I've only had a few days and I've got no complaints. So Firefly, I think, really knocked this one out of the park. A really good instrument, for a really, really good price. All right, we'll check you next time. You guys keep rocking.